Hello there. I'm Counselor Fox. I am a family and trauma counselor and founder of Fox Adoption and Counseling LLC. I am the co-developer and chief architect of Remm Works. That is a therapy with the acronym of REMM that stands for Replacement Experience Memory Method. Along with my co-developer, former U.S. Army Specialist McLean, we developed the military and first responder edition of Remm to bring those with invisible injuries together to provide them with healing for stress, anxiety, and PTSD. So today we are down at the local lake by my house, and we're going to be talking about forgiveness on this video. Forgiveness is the healing factor, says Second Lieutenant Louis Zamperini, that saved his life. Forgiveness was the mechanical action that propelled him into his healing. Without the act of forgiving those who had done him wrong, he would not have found his complete healing. His wife wrote in 1999, Louis truly became a different person, able to forget the bitterness and sincerely forgive after asking God to forgive him and for him to forgive his torturing captors. So he writes about no longer condemning the Japanese for his torture. Instead, he chose to forgive them through God's grace and God's strength. Then he went back to visit them after the war. He shared his story and his story of forgiveness and salvation with the same Japanese torturers that have kept him captive for years. Many of them ended up accepting that forgiveness and accepting Christ, even though he never was able to gain contact, I believe, with the bird that he called in the movie his daily arch tormentor. I don't think he even showed up for the meeting when Louis Zamperini went with an entourage to Japan. But the others did, and the others definitely found their forgiveness and were able to move on from there. It's a great story of transformation, and I believe that Louis would say it's time for you to write your own story of transformation. If you're in a place right now where you haven't forgiven those that caused you the hurt that you have or took away the loss that you experienced, if you haven't forgiven yourself for what you did in the scope of war, then it's time. Major General Dees, who is an author, presenter, educator, etc., recalls the story at a gathering at church of a Marine sniper who'd come forward to accept Jesus and ask forgiveness for what he had done in war. He said to me, writes Dees, I don't see how God could ever forgive me for what I have done. Well, after a simple explanation that God loved him and honored his selfless service as a warrior, the Marine simply said, well, I really never looked at it that way. And then he asked God's forgiveness, and that's when he started his healing journey. So much is written about forgiveness and its healing powers. I'm here to tell you from sheer personal experience. I'm going to tell you two things, okay? One is there is a vast difference between false guilt and real guilt, okay? Real guilt is when you say, I did wrong. I stole that car, and it belonged to an old lady, and she doesn't have it anymore, and I need to forgive her and myself, and I just need to change. And then there's false guilt, which is what so many soldiers and firemen go through because they could not save that person or those people or those individuals or that group, or couldn't come to the rescue in a situation to save the loss of innocence. And they hold that guilt as tight as you would hold on to anything, and until you can release that guilt, things aren't going to change. The reason I know this to be true is because I suffered from not forgiving the person that injured me so many years ago. Long story short, in 6th grade, the biggest bully in school kicked me in the back. And if you happen to be watching this video now, sir, I forgive you. I forgave you a long time ago. That was the only way I ever would have done it. As a result of that particular one incident, that one event on the playground field of hitting me in the back, caused 3 major back surgeries and a lifetime of pain. So I had to forgive him, or I was going to hold that bitterness till the day I died. So I know from experience that that has to happen, and it can happen for you, and it should happen for you, and I can help you do that. So to learn more, please go to my website. It's remmworks.webs.com, or send me an email. It's remmworks42@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at remmworks. That's REMMWORKS. Or like my Facebook page, /remmworks. Thank you very much for joining me today and listening, and God bless you.